Hello, welcome to Mandarin Reader. I'm Chen Xu. Chinese could well become a fellow global language alongside English one day. To better appreciate the Chinese language, there are many approaches you might take. Many people elect to learn just to speak Chinese, and that's fine. However, I feel that the best window to the Chinese cultural soul comes from reading. So, I'm making this new video series to help you learn Chinese reading. The very first thing that we have to learn is Pinyin, which is the romanized script used to present Chinese phonetically. Chinese characters, like the ones you see on the screen here, they're not themselves phonetic like the scripts of English, French, and even Korean. This first Pinyin video will take you through what is known as the Pinyin alphabet, also known as the Pinyin syllables. And in later videos, we'll explore more sounds showing how these alphabet and syllable elements come together, before then moving on to tones and then to Chinese characters. Learning any language takes patience, and Chinese is no exception. What I've said already sounds like a lot, but if you start at the beginning and work through step by step, you'll quickly find you can learn a lot. If you've already studied some Chinese and you may be familiar with Pinyin, then you can skip these first videos and move on either to tones or straight into our videos on Chinese characters, depending on your current level. If you're an absolute newbie to reading Chinese, this is where you should begin. So let's get started. We're going to begin with what are known as the shengmu, literally the sound mothers. That means the opening sounds of the Chinese words, the letters in Pinyin which make up the first part of the word. So, now these will be read more like words than single letters, and I'll be using the flat first tone throughout, and I'll explain the other tones in a future video. So let's begin. We have BPMF. In Pinyin, we would read these as bo, po, mo, fo. Next, de, te, ne, le. So these are how these letters would sound within Chinese words. Next, ge, ke, he. Next, ji, qi, xi. Now this one can be a little tricky. So ji is fairly straightforward, like a regular J sound, but perhaps more from the front of the mouth. Qi, this one is more like a CH, but it's very light. Again, close to the front of the mouth the sound comes from. Qi. And finally, xi, which is almost like an SH sort of sound, but once again, you feel your teeth closing at the front and the sound all comes from the front of your mouth. Ji, qi, xi. Now we can see some combined letters here. So the first one here we have zhi, then we have ch and sh, zhi, ch, sh. ZH forms like a J sound in English, but this one is softer than the previous J. So it's actually quite close to the French je, like je, Peugeot, je, but it's a little harder on the J. Less of a dragging, soft sound. So j, then ch. This is a fairly straightforward CH, similar to in English. Ch and sh. SH is also fairly similar to the English pronunciation. Ch, sh, but it will take practice and they're quite hard to say together. Next we have, now these ones are a little trickier, but if you can master them, this is where your pronunciation becomes much higher level. So, r, z, c, s, i, wu. Now those first ones may have sounded very similar. Let's go through them slowly. R, r. Now R, when you're forming it in Chinese, this is one of the tricky ones for especially Western speakers. R actually you form your mouth a lot like, again, you're going to say zh, like in French, Peugeot, but instead of closing to form the soft zh, you almost stop yourself and then let the sound come out. Z, z. So this one is a Z sound, similar to we would say in English, but it's a little lighter, perhaps. Z. Now the tricky one here is the C. The C is a bit like a TS in English. So, c, 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 and then we have S. That's fairly similar to the English S. S. And then finally we have E and U, E, U. So the Y, E, E. So the Y is more like the Spanish Y in that we pronounce it more like an E or an I. And then the W, Wu. So this U is formed not at the back of the throat as in some later some pronunciation is U. But Wu is like W-U, imagine that. But it's not like woo. Woo, ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, so those are the 声母, the sounds that form the beginning of the words. Let's now look at the second group, which are the 韵母, which are literally the rhyming letters. So these are basically the vowel sounds. So these form the ends of the words, literally the parts that would rhyme, so the ending. So we have a, o, i, u, ü. So a, o, so E is the sound. E for I, U, and then the second U with the umlaut is Ü. So for this one, you purse your lips very closely and form a small O, Ü. So it's you start as if you're saying the first U, Wu, but close your lips into a very tight purse, and then push it through. U. Next. I, A, way. So that's the first A, I, E, I, A, U, I, way. A, O, O, U, O, I, U, you. Next. Ear, an, in, yun. Now the last two are a little tricky, but we'll run through those again. An, in, yun. Again, that tight ü sound you form by pursing your lips closer to make that umlaut U sound. Ang, in, ong. Ang, in, ong. Ang, in, ong. And finally then, let's put them together in what are known as 整体认读音节. So these like almost like full syllables. So these are some that are fully formed. Let's have a look. 知, ch, sh. You might recognize that sound from when we did the opening letters. Yeah, so now I'm adding in the rhyme as well for the full word. 知, ch, sh, r, z, c, s, i, wu, yu, ye, yue, yuan, yin, yun, ying. And there you have it. So that's our Pinyin alphabet. Why not play it back again and listen to all the sounds one more time? And keep going through it until you can just about sound out those words. If you can't grasp all the sounds straight away, don't worry. We're going to revisit these sounds in future videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.